Arjuna uvacha Sanyasam karmanam Krishna Punaryogancha shamsasi Yakshreya iti yorekam Tanme bruhi sunishchitam. Arjuna said, O Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sanyasa Karma Yogascha Nishreyasa Karavubhau Tayostu Karma Sanyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. Gyeya sanitya sanyasi yo na dvesti na kangshati nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyate. One who neither hates nor desires the fruits of his activities is known to be always renounced. Such a person, free from all dualities, easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated, O mighty armed Arjuna. Sankhya yogo pratak balaha Pravadanti na panditaha Ekamapyastita samyage Ubhayor vindate phalam. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service or karma yoga as being different from the analytical study of the material world or Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieves the results of both. Yat sankhye prapyate sthanam tad yogerapi gamyate ekam sankhyancha yogancha Yah pashyati sa pashyati. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and devotional service to be on the same level, see things as they are. Sanyasastu mahabaho Dukkham aptumayogataha Yoga yukto munir brahma Nachire nadi gacchati. Merely renouncing all activities, yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. Yoga yukto vishuddhatma vijitatma jitendriyaha sarva bhutatma bhutatma kurvannapi na lipyate. One who works in devotion, who is a pure soul, and who controls his mind and senses, is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. Though always working, such a man is never entangled. Neva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavite pashyan shrinvan sprishan jigran ashnan gachan swapan shvasan. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping and breathing, always knows within himself that he does nothing at all. Pralapan visrajan grinhan unmishan nimishan api Indriyani indriyateshu vartanta iti dharayan. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. Brahman yadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sapapena padmapatram ivambhasa. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalerindriyerapi yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti nestikim ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibhadyate. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in unison with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasyate sukham vashi navatvare pure dehi neva kurvanna karayan. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, that is, the material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. Na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhuhu na karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Nadatte kasya chit papam na cheva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnanena vritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. Jnanena tu tat ajnanam yesham nashitam atmanaha tesham adityavagyanam prakashayati tat param. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nescience or lack of knowledge is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything, as the sun lights up everything in the daytime. Tad buddhayastad atmanaha tannishthastad parayanaha gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. When one's intelligence, mind, faith, and refuge are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shuni chevashvapake cha pandita samadarshinaha. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater or outcast. Iheva terjita sargaha yesham samyestitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te stitaha. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. Na prarishyet priyam prapya nodvijet prapya cha priyam stira buddhir asammudaha brahmavid brahmani stitaha. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. Payas parshesvashakt atma vindat yatmani yat sukham sabrahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayamashnute. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. Yehi samparshya ja bhogaha dukkayonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nate shuramate buddhaha. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Shaknoti heva ya sodum praksharira vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi naraha. Before giving up this present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world. Yonta sukhontar aramaha tathantar jyotir eva yaha sayogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhuto digacchati. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. Labhante brahma nirvanam rashayakshina kalmashaha chinnadvedhayatatmanaha sarvabhuta hiterataha. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. Kama krodha viyuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Sparshan kritva bahir bahyam chakshushchevantare bhruvo pranapanau samokritva nasabhyantaracharino. Shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils. Yatendriya mano buddhihi munir moksha parayanaha vigatecha bhaya krodhaha ya sada mukta eva saha. And thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence, the transcendentalist, aiming at liberation, becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshvaram suhradam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries.